Okay, so let's start. What are comets? What are comets? So all of you already know about comets, right? Comets are basically dusty snowballs which orbit around the suns. And they are made of ices such as water, carbon dioxide, ammonia, and methane mixed with dust. The term comet derived from the Greek word comets, which means the long-haired star, a reference to the tail. Comets are the dirty balls of ice or dusty snowballs and rocky material which orbits around the sun. They can only be seen by us when they pass by the sun and sun's heat melts them. These materials came from the time when the solar system was formed. Comets have an icy center, means nucleus surrounded by a large cloud of gas and dust, means called the coma. The coma is created as the ice in the nucleus is warmed by the sun and vaporizes. So comets can develop two tails as they travel closer to the sun, a straight gas tail and a curved dust tail. So these are the two tails of comet. We will know about this later in the session. How they look like a star with a ghosty white tail. Hope everyone has seen the comet before. We call it shooting star, right? So let's study about the comet anatomy. The gas tail the gas tail is created by the solar wind pushing gas away from the comet's coma and pointing straight back from the sun. The dust in the coma is not affected by magnetic field, but it is vaporized by the sun's heat and form a curved tail which follows the comet orbit. So let's have a look on anatomy of comet as you can see in the given picture in first and second pic. Comet is made up of four visible parts: the nucleus, coma, the iron tail, and the dust tail. In the two pictures, here you can see the comet anatomy: nucleus, coma, tail, and the gas tail, dust tail in first and second picture. So let's understand the third picture of comet in detail. The nucleus is a solid body, typically a few kilometers and diameters are made up of a mixture of volatile ices and organic dust particles. The coma is freely escaping atmosphere around the nucleus that form when the comet comes close to the sun and the volatile ice sublimate. The coma is created as the ice in the nucleus is warmed by the sun and it vaporizes. So carrying with them dust particles that are mixed with the frozen ices in the nucleus, and the curving tail is typically white or yellow in color. The dust tail forms from those dust particles and is blown black by solar radiation pressure to form a long curving tail. The iron tail forms from the volatile gases in the coma when they are ionized by ultraviolet photons from the sun and blown away by the solar wind. And iron tail point almost exactly away from the sun and glow bluish in color because of the presence of Cu ions. The comet tail is made up of material from the comet, gas from the ices and dust that is mixed with within the ice, and they escape as the comet melts. So the tail always point away from the sun due to the solar winds. Comet have an icy center, means its nucleus surrounded by a large cloud of gas and dust, which we call coma. Comets can develop two tails as they travel closer to the sun: a straight gas tail and a curved dust tails. As you can see in this picture, the iron tail and second one is a dust tail. The two tails of the comets are there. The gas tail is created by the solar wind pushing gas away from the comet's coma and pointing straight back from the sun. And the dust tail in the coma is not affected by a magnetic field but is vaporized by the sun's heat and form a curved tail which follows the comet's orbit. At present, Knowledge of the composition, as we as per our knowledge, present knowledge of the composition of cometary nuclear ices is based on investigations of the coma, and direct investigations of ices on the nuclear surface are only possible from a spacecraft. Near infrared spectra of cometary surfaces reveal the spectral signatures of water ice CO2, and of a semi-volatile organic material which containing the chemical group. Comets are among the most primitive object of the solar system, and the chemical composition of their ices is representative of the molecular composition of the outer regions of the solar nebula. This chemical composition should provide insights onto the.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt you, but I can see your first slide only.
Okay. um,
Yeah, same here.
सभी को फर्स्ट स्लाइड आ रही है.
Yes, ma'am.
uh, okay, wait, let me share it again. Wait. Now, hello, please respond. Now, is it visible?
Yes, now we're able to see the
Yes,
first
ma'am.
slides.
Okay, okay.
Nice.
Yes. So we were okay. Okay, so this chemical. Should I repeat it again, or it will be fine? You'll understand that.
No, it will be fine.
Okay, okay, cool. I was talking about the chemical. So this chemical composition should provide insights into the condition of formation and evolution of the early solar system. Uh, okay, let's discuss it later. Okay, so now, why do we need to study comets? The main question which blow our mind, why do we need to study comet? So because they are primitive bodies left over from the formation of the solar system. They were among the first solid bodies to form in the solar nebula, the collapsing interstellar cloud of dust and gas out of which the sun and planets are formed. Why study comets? Comets are the reminders of material formed in the coldest part of our solar system. Impact from comets played a major role in the evolution of Earth, and during its early Earth history, billions of years ago, some believe that they brought water and a variety of organic molecules to Earth. Also, it's important because to study the formation of solar system, to predict when a comet will appear again, and to try to explain meteor shower, many more. So that's why we need to study comet. The cometary study is important to know about the universe. So now the another question came: asteroid versus comet. What is the difference between that? So the main difference between the asteroids and comets is their composition, as in what they are made of. Asteroids are made up of metals and rocky material, while comets are made up of ice, dust, and rocky material. Both asteroid and comet were formed early in the history of the solar system, about 4.5 billion years ago. Asteroid formed much closer to the sun, where it was too warm and ices to remain solid. And comets formed farther from the sun, which ices would not melt. Comet which approach the sun lose material with which orbit because some of their ice melt and vaporizes to form a tail. So that's the major difference between the asteroid and comets. Asteroid rocking around. Asteroids are large chunks of rock and metal that orbit the sun. They range from just over half a mile, 1 kilometer to a few hundred miles in a diameter. Most asteroids travel in the wide gap between the inner planet and outer planet. Means between the Jovian and terrestrial planet. Means between the Mars and the Jupiter. But a few travel in the path across Mars orbit, and some even cross in Earth orbit. Here you can see in this picture asteroid distribution, the asteroid belt, and the separation between the terrestrial planet and the Jovian planet Jupiter.
Ma'am, please change this slide.
Slides are not changing, ma'am.
It's not. Sorry.
Ma'am.
Slides.
Still seventh slide is visible.
It's not visible.
Now okay, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Now it's visible.
I'm
Now it's
sorry to
visible.
interrupt.
I
I'm sorry
think
to interrupt you. Can you show some from starting? क्या आप फिर से शुरुआत से दिखा सकती है, क्योंकि बीच की जो स्लाइड है वो स्लो नहीं हुई थी, इसलिए फिर से दो थोड़ा सा एक्सप्लेन कर सकती है अगर अच्छा रहेगा जो बाद में ज्वाइन हुए उनके लिए.
ओके सो
Sorry.
ठीक है, बस सबका वोट बताओ, उस हिसाब से फिर डिसाइड करते हैं स्टार्टिंग से बोलना चाहिए. Anyone wants to start it from starting?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let me. I think मुझे स्लाइड शेयर नहीं करना चाहिए, उसी में वो दिक्कत हो रही है. मतलब पूरा व्यू नहीं करना चाहिए, एंटायर व्यू. अभी दिख रहा है ना?
हाँ, फर्स्ट स्लाइड दिख रही है, लेकिन उसके आगे की स्लाइड आपने नहीं दिखाई थी, तो उसमें प्रॉब्लम हुई थी, इसलिए मैं बोल रहा हूँ. सॉरी.
अच्छा ठीक है, तो मैं स्टार्टिंग से स्टार्ट करूँ फिर.
No, we can just do a summary type from the second slide.
Okay, देखो second slide. What are comets? It's all about the comet. Comet are the dusty tail or dirty balls of ice or dusty snowballs and rocky material which orbit around the sun. So I was explaining about the comet. So these material came from the time when the solar system was formed. And the comet, which it is a Greek word which means the long-haired star, a reference to the tail. And comets have an icy center, means its nucleus, which is surrounded by a large cloud of gas, and dust means it called the coma. And coma is created as the ice in the nucleus is warmed by the sun and it vaporizes. So comet can develop two tails as they travel closer to the sun, a straight gas tail and a curved dust tail. We will know about this later. Okay. So they look like a star with a ghostly white tail. Hope you have seen this before, the comet, which we call the shooting star, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, and then I was explaining about the comet anatomy. So have a look on anatomy of comet. In the first and second picture, comet is made up of four visible parts: the nucleus, coma, and the two tails, the iron tail and the dust tails. So let's look at this picture, the picture third, in which I explain about the composition of comet. The nucleus is a solid body and typically a few kilometers in diameter and made up of a mixture of ices and dust particles. And coma is freely escaping atmosphere around the nucleus that form when the comet comes close to the sun and it sublimates. The coma is created in the ice in the nucleus is warmed by the sun and later it vaporizes. So it mixed with the dust particles and frozen ice in the nucleus. So the dust still forms from those dust particles, which is blown back by solar radiation from a solar radiation pressure to form a long curving tail that is typically white or yellow in color. So and we having two tail, iron and dust tail. So and then the iron tail form when the volatile gases in the coma, when they are ionized by ultraviolet photons from the sun and blown away by the solar wind. Iron tail point almost exactly away from the sun and glow bluish in color because of the presence of CO ions. So the comet tail is made up of material from the comet gas from the ices, and dust that is mixed within the ice. So they escape as a comet melts. The tail always point away from the sun due to the solar winds, and comet have an icy center which we call nucleus, which is surrounded by a large cloud of gas and dust. So comet can develop two tails as it travels closer to the sun. The straight line is a gas tail and the curved one is dust tail. Right, so the dust in the coma is not affected by magnetic field but is vaporized by the sun's heat and form a curved tail which follows its orbit, comet's orbit. So, according to our present knowledge, the composition of cometary nuclear ices is essentially based on the investigations of coma. And direct investigation of ices on the nucleus are only possible from a spacecraft. So, near infrared spectra of cometary surfaces that reveal the spectral signatures of water that is present. Spectral signatures of water ice and of a semi-volatile organic material containing the chemical group. Comets are among the most primitive object of the solar system, and the chemical composition of their ices is representative in the molecular composition. So the outer region of solar nebula where they formed, it's about this chemical composition should provide insight to the condition of formation and evolution of the early solar system. How our solar system formed. So that it is a composition of comet. Why do we need to study comets? So we need to study comets because they are primitive bodies left over from the formation of the solar system, and they were among the first solid bodies to form in the solar nebula. The collapsing interstellar cloud of dust and gas out of which the sun and planets formed. And why study comets? Comets are the reminders of material formed in the coldest part of our solar system. Impact from comets, it has played a major role in the evolution of the Earth and other planets. And during its early history, billions of years ago, some believe that they brought water and a variety of organic molecules to Earth. So it is also important. Its study is also important because because to know the formation of solar system, to predict when a comet will appear again, and to try to explain the meteor shower and other things, asteroids, meteoroids. So that's why the study of comet is important. Now the difference between asteroid versus comet. So there's not a lot of difference. The main difference between the asteroid and comet is about their composition, what they are made up of. Asteroids are made up of metals and rocky material, and comets are made up of ice, dust, and rocky material. Both asteroids and comet were formed early in the universe, about 4.5 billion years ago. Asteroid formed much closer to the sun, where it was too warm for ices and remained solid. Comet formed farther from the sun, where ices would not melt, and comet which approach the sun lose material with each orbit because some of their ice melt and vaporizes to form a tail. So asteroid rocking around. Asteroids are large chunks of rock and material that orbit the sun. They range from just over half a mile, 1 kilometer, to a few hundred miles in diameter. Most asteroids travel in the middle wide gap between the inner planets and the outer planets. Inner planets means our terrestrial planets, and outer planets means our Jovian planets. So inner planet including Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. So in this picture, the asteroid distribution, there's a picture of inner planets and one of our Jovian planet, Jupiter. but a few travel in path across Mars orbit and some even across in Earth orbit. So most of the chunks of our rock material, rock and metal in space came together long ago to form the planets and moon. Asteroid are leftover pieces of rock from when the solar system was formed. How are meteoroids related to asteroids? Meteoroids are the pieces of asteroids or some planets or moon. What happens when a comet or an asteroid hits Earth? So what happens is, let's watch out this activity. How impact craters are formed when a comet or asteroid hits Earth. Let's watch out this activity. What you need to do is take a floor or cement in a ball and take some pebbles or marbles or make a dough. Now drop it from the maximum height as you can. Like suppose you drop a glass or ball or something object from the height or the terrace of your house, and it will collide from the surface and left its mark, right? So same as just drop the marble from the height and see it will collide with the surface and impact its mark. Like this. This is now you see the result. It left its mark and hence resulted a crater like we have on moon. Moon craters were also formed like that. Followed the same procedure, and also on other planets like Venus, Mars, and Mercury. So now let's see the real crater that has formed on Earth due to collision of asteroids. That's how it came from the space. Hope it's visible.
Yes.
And now it hits the Earth. Same that activity which I have put in this presentation. Now it left with its impact. Now we now talk about the what killed the dinosaurs. The most wide question. Every student, every children have asked this: what happened to that time? How the entire species of dinosaurs have extinct? So, what killed the dinosaurs? Anyone?
Can you repeat again?
What killed the dinosaurs?
Probably asteroids.
Probably the most accepted theory is the asteroid hitting the Earth from of diameter 11 kilometer to 88 kilometer.
Okay. All right. So first of all, I would like to talk about the previous about this before going to talk on dinosaurs. The impact crater are formed when a meteoroid, asteroid, or comet crashes into a planet or a moon, right? So all the inner bodies in our solar system have been heavily bombarded by meteoroids throughout their history. This bombardment is clearly visible on the surfaces of Moon, Earth, and Mercury, Venus. For example, on the Earth, impact craters are continually erased by erosion. Most of the craters have wiped out due to present the water on Earth. So still, almost 170 terrestrial impact craters have been identified on our planet. Only 170 terrestrial impact craters. These range in diameter from a few tens of meters up to about 300 kilometers, and they range in age from the recent time to more than 2 billion years. The impact crater featured on this list are relatively small and young, making them easier to spot. So I'll discuss this in our next slide.
Your voice is breaking to me.
Maybe please check your connection because it's fine. Okay, so let's go ahead. So the question is, what killed the dinosaurs? We have read many theories about that how the entire species have extinct suddenly. The fossil record shows that our first 175 million years in their existence, dinosaurs took on a huge variety of forms as the environment changed and new species evolved that were suited to these new conditions, and dinosaurs that failed to adapt and then went extinct. But then 66 million years ago, when the dinosaurs were when the dinosaurs were there, over a relatively short time, dinosaurs disappeared completely, and many other elements or other animals also died out, including large marine reptiles and ammonites. So many other species died. Although the number of dinosaurs species was already declining, this suggests a sudden catastrophic event sealed their fate. Something that caused unfavorable changes to the environment to occur more quickly than dinosaurs and other creatures could adapt. But whatever the cause, the huge extinction that ended the age of the dinosaur left gaps in ecosystem around the world. There were filled by the only dinosaurs to survive, birds and mammals, both of which went on the evolve rapidly. So after so many researches and evidence shows that the entire species have extinct because of asteroid impact. According to new theory, the devastation came not from a nearby asteroid, but from a sort of long distance comet that could came from the edge of the solar system in an area which we known as the Oort cloud. So let's watch some of those old craters which we still have on Earth. That is Beringer's crater, an iron meteorite 100 feet across and 70,000 tons slammed into the Earth at about 43,000 mph in the Arizona desert. And it was about 40,000 years ago. Beringer crater is 4,100 feet wide and 571 feet deep. So it is 40,000 old crater. Also, Beringer crater is the best known and best preserved impact crater on Earth. The crater is named after Daniel Beringer, and who was the first to suggest that it was produced by a meteorite impact. The crater is still privately owned by his family and is also simply known as Meteor Crater or Arizona Crater, and measuring about 4,000 or 4,100 feet in diameter. And the crater lies near Flagstaff, Arizona, as mentioned in the given picture, and it was formed about 40,000 years ago. So this is one of the oldest crater. Now, Amgit crater, it is about 100,000 year old crater, a relatively young crater, and this is result of a meteorite impact. About 100,000 years ago, it is located in a remote area in southwestern Algeria. The perfectly circular meteorite impact crater in 450 meter and in diameter and 30 meter deep. I have mentioned its diameter and its deep. The top of the rim is covered by blocks of sandstones that are several meters in diameter, and the center of the crater is flat and is filled by compacted slits. So it is a ground view of the crater on Earth. Now this one is Wolf Creek crater. The Wolf Creek crater it's in Australia and was formed by a meteorite that crashed into Earth about 300,000 years ago. The 50,000 had a mass of about it's 50,000 tons and left a crater of about 875 meter in diameter and 102 meter deep. Over the next 300,000 years, the wind gradually filled it with the sand, and today the crater floor is up just about 60 meters. So below the rim, which rises 25 meter above the surrounding of flat desert land, a small number of iron meteorite have been found in the vicinity of the crater. So the crater was discovered during an aerial survey in 1947, although the Aboriginal people have known the crater for thousands of years. So, and this is a crater which is as old as 1.4 million years ago. The Penguin crater was created about 1.4 million years ago by a meteorite impact that had a force of about 8,500 Hiroshima-sized atom bombs. See, it's a fact of this crater that it had the force of 8,500 Hiroshima-sized atom bombs. The 3.4 kilometer, it's in 3.4 kilometer in diameter and 400 meter in deep. And and 160 meters above the surroundings, and 400 meter the lake at the bottom of the crater has a depth of 270 meter, and it contains some of the purest water in the world. The lake has no inlets or apparent outlets, so the water accumulates from rain and snow and is only lost through evaporation. And the crater was discovered in 1943 by US Air Force plane on a meteorological flight, and it means where the land rise. Penguillet means where the land rise. In the if we talk in the local unit language. This is Swain crater. The Swain crater, it was created by a chondrite or stony meteorite, some 30 to 50 meter in diameter, that hit the earth about 220,000 years ago. And in the center of the crater is a small lake which is filled by a spring and rainwater. Stone tools from the Stone Age show that the crater was regularly visited by people in order to hunt and collect salt, and the European settlers named this region is Salt Pan, while the local Swan tribes called the region Swan, which means the place of salt. This is one of my favorite crater because it is situated in India, Maharashtra, Lonar Crater Lake. You definitely have heard about this, the Lonar Lake in Maharashtra. So the Lonar Lake crater was formed about 50,000 years ago when a meteorite hit the surface. The saltwater lake that evolved in the resulting basaltic rock formation and has a diameter of about 1.2 kilometers and 137 meter below the crater. It means, and it is it's total about 137 meter below the crater rim. Numerous temples surround the lake, and most of which are in ruins, except for some temples. But at the center of the Lonar town, which was built in honor of some gods, and there are a lot of stories about that. So let's move further. The most kids have asked this question: how many comets hit the Earth every year? So the answer is, to date there have been nearly 1100 recovered falls and 1100 meteorites seen to fall. And nearly 40,000 found but not seen to fall, and it is estimated that probably 500 meteorites reach the surface of the Earth every year, but not less than 10 are recovered. And estimated about 25 million meteorites, micrometeoroids, and other space debris enter Earth's atmosphere each day. See, each day, 25 million meteorites, micrometeoroids, and other space debris enter in the Earth's surface, which result is an estimated 15,000 tons of that material entering the atmosphere each year. So let's talk about the history of comet. When we talk about the comet, no one asks about the history of comets. What's its history? So let's watch or let's understand what its history. So, like, it had really a bright history. In antiquity, comets inspired both awe and alarm. Hairy stars, resembling swords that appeared unpredictably in the sky. Often, comets seem to be omens of doom in the past times. So the most ancient non-mythology, the Babylon, the Epic of Gilgamesh described it as a fire, the brimstone, and flood with the arrival of a comet, and the Roman emperor saved himself from the curse of the comet. So there were they think that the comet is omen and curse of the comet. This fear, they was afraid from the comet. This fear was not just limited to the distance part. In 1910 also, people in Chicago sealed their windows to protect themselves from what they thought was a comet's poisonous tail. That, as I have mentioned, comets had two tails, right? So, but they protect themselves from what they thought was a comet's poisonous tail. For centuries, scientists thought comets traveled in the Earth's atmosphere. But in 1577, observation made by astronomer Tycho Brahe revealed that they actually traveled far beyond the moon. But Isaac Newton later discovered that comets move in elliptical oval-shaped orbit around the sun, and correctly predicted that they could return again and again. So fear of comet as act of God and sign of doom was highest in Europe from 1200 to 1650 in 17th century. The year was a great comet of 1618. For example, in a published pamphlet stating that it was a sign that the day of judgment was near, and listed 10 pages of comet related disasters, including earthquake, flood, changes in river courses, hailstorms, hot and dry weather, poor harvest, epidemic, war, treason, and high prices. So they were predicted these things when the comet arrives in the sky. So they were afraid from the comet, and they think it's a doom, it's their fate. By 1700, most scholars concluded that such event occurred whether a comet was seen or not. Using Halley's record, the comet sightings, however, in 1711 wrote that the Great Comet of 1680 had a periodicity of 574 years and was responsible for the worldwide flood by pouring water on Earth, and his announcement revived for another century fear of comets again. From the ancient sources, such as Chinese, it is known that comets have been noticed by humans for millennia. Until the 16th century, comets were usually considered bad omens of death of kings or noblemen, or coming catastrophes, or even interpreted as attack by heavenly beings against terrestrial inhabitants. Now, the Aristotle, who you have heard this name before, was the first known scientist to utilize various theories and observational fact to consistent structured cosmological theory of comets. He believed that comets were atmospheric phenomena due to the fact that they could appear outside the zodiac and vary in brightness over the course of a few days. Or Aristotle's cometary theory arose from his observation and cosmological theory that everything in the cosmos is arranged in a distinct configuration. And part of this configuration was a clear separation between the celestial and terrestrial, and believing comets to be strictly associated with this. And according to the Aristotle, comet must be within the sphere of the moon and clearly separated from the heavens. Also, in the 4th century, the Midners supported the idea that comet moved like the planets. And Aristotelian theory on comets continued to be widely accepted theory throughout the Middle Ages, despite several discoveries from various individuals challenging aspects of it. So let's discuss. It was a history of comets, which I don't know how many of you have known the history of comets. So let's discuss some comet mission in the past. Comet missions. So this is the Comet Tempel 1. In 2001, the Deep Space One spacecraft obtained high-resolution images of the surface of Comet Borrelly, and it was found that the surface of Comet Borrelly is hot and dry, with a temperature of between 26 to 71 degrees Celsius, and extremely dark, suggesting that the ice has been removed by solar heating, and or it is hidden by the soup-like material that covers it. So, and in July 2005, the Deep Impact probe blasted a crater on Comet Tempel 1 to study its interior part. And the mission yielded results suggesting that the majority of Comet's water ice is below the surface, and that these reservoirs feed the jets of vaporized water that form the coma of Tempel 1. NASA's Deep Impact collided an impactor onto Comet Tempel 1 in 2005 and recorded the dramatic explosion that revealed the interior composition and structure of the nucleus. And Comet Tempel 1, after 67 seconds after NASA's Deep Impact Crater spacecraft crashed onto the comet, this one is Ulysses probe mission in 2007. The Ulysses probe unexpectedly passed through the tail of the comet, and which was discovered in 2006. Ulysses was launched in 1990, and the intended mission was for Ulysses to orbit around the sun for further study at all latitudes. This is Stardust mission. In 2009, NASA announced that samples returned from Comet Wild 2 during the Stardust mission revealed a building block of life. According to NASA, it was the first time an amino acid was found in a comet. Stardust was a 390-kilogram robotic space probe launched by NASA on 7 February 1999, and its primary mission was to collect dust samples from the coma of Comet Wild 2, and as well as sample of cosmic dust, and return these to Earth for further analysis. It was a first sample return mission of its kind, and data from the Stardust mission show that the materials retrieved from the tail of Wild 2 were crystalline and could only have been born in fire at extremely high temperature of over 1000 degrees Celsius. Although comet formed in the outer solar system, radial mixing of material during the early formation of solar system is thought to have redisturbed material throughout the protoplanetary disk, and as a result, comets also contain a crystalline grains that formed in the early hot inner solar system. So this is seen in comet spectra as well as in the sample return from the mission. And more recent, still the material retrieved demonstrate that the comet dust resemble asteroid materials. So these new results have forced scientists to rethink that the nature of comet and their distinction from asteroids. Stardust was the first spacecraft to return a cometary sample, an extraterrestrial material from outside the orbit of the moon to Earth. And in 2004, the Stardust spacecraft made a close flyby to comet Wild 2 and collecting comet and interstellar dust in a substance called aerogel. And 2 years later, the samples made it back to Earth in a return capsule that landed in the Utah Desert. And this mission samples indicated that some comets may have included materials ejected from the early sun and may have formed very differently that scientists have had theorized. So this is a Rosetta spacecraft. In 2014, the European Space Agency ESA Rosetta spacecraft entered orbit around comet. Lander touched down on November 12, and among the Rosetta missions, many discoveries was a first detection of organic molecule on the surface of comet, a strange song from comet, and the possibilities that the comet's odd shape may be due to its spinning apart or resulting from the two comets fusing together, and the fact that comets may possess hard, crispy outside and the cold but soft inside. So just like they, it's just assuming things. Rosetta internationally crash landed on the comet and ending its mission. And ESA selected the comet mission as a last fast mission. The new mission will intercept as an yet undiscovered comet as it entered the inner solar system, and the mission consists have 3 spacecraft that will capture snapshots of the comet from different angles and creating a 3D profile of the object and the characterizing its surface, its composition, its shape, its structure, and etc. So these are some images taken by Rosetta spacecraft from a comet. So let's talk about the famous comet. Famous comet may first the thing comes in mind, the Halley's comet. Yeah, Halley's comet is likely the most famous comet in the world. It becomes visible to the naked eyes about every 75 to 76 years when it came near to the sun. And when Halley's comet zoomed near Earth in 1986, 5 spacecraft flew past it and gathered details, coming close enough to study its nucleus, which is normally concealed by the comet's coma. Roughly, it is like it's 9 mile long or 15-kilometer comet contain equal parts ice and dust, with some 80% of ice made of water and about 15% of it consisting of frozen carbon monoxide. And many researchers believe other comets are chemically similar to Halley's comet. And the one thing is, the nucleus of the Halley's comet was unexpectedly extremely dark. its black, its surface. The perhaps those of most others is apparently covered with a black crust of dust over most of the ice, and it only releases gas when holes in this crust expose ice to the sun. This is the second most famous comet, is comet Shoemaker. Shoemaker Levine collided with Jupiter in 1994, if you heard the news, with a giant planet gravitational pull ripping the comet apart for at least 21 visible impact. And the largest collision created a fireball that rose about 3,000 kilometers above the Jovian cloud tops, as well as the giant dark spot more than 12,000 kilometers across, about the size of the Earth, and was estimated to have exploded with the force of 6,000 gigaton. This is a comet Hale-Bopp, highly visible comet, which came within 122 million miles, means 197 million kilometer of Earth in 1997, and its unusually large nucleus gave off a great deal of dust and gases, and it is about 30 to 40 kilometer across, appeared bright to the naked sky, and Hale-Bopp was an unusually bright comet that flew by Earth, reaching its closest approach to the planet in 1997. And Hale-Bopp was probably one of the most viewed comet in history. It provided quite the sky show, being 1,000 times brighter than Halley's comet at the time of its discovery. So it is the most brightest comet. Now this one is the comet Barnard, comet Bernstein. In 2021, means this year, scientists have found what could be the largest comet ever seen. So this comet, after its discoveries, some of the graduate student and scientists and professors came to know about this in this June 2021. And then astronomers estimate this icy body, which has a diameter of about 100 to 200 kilometers, and making it about 100 times wider than a typical comet. And this comet will make its closest approach to our planet Earth in 2031, but will remain at distance even then. The enormous comet, possibly the largest one ever detected, is barreling toward the inner solar system with an estimated arrival time of 10 years from now. And according to new research, this is according to new research. So the comet known as Barnard Bernstein comet, and this is more massive than a typical comet. So it's so large that the astronomers previously mistook it for a dwarf planet. But according to new research, this is a comet. The comet discoveries the comet's discovery in June 2021. So now let's have a view on this comet. Most of the astrophotographer, even every photographer, have photographed this comet last year, 2021, which was visible to the naked eye. The comet Neowise, NASA's Near Earth Object Wide Field Infrared Survey Explorer, Neowise comet. So Neowise comet mission discovered an icy visitor on March 27, 2020, and using its two infrared channels, which are sensitive to the heat signatures and often by the object as the sun, started to turn up the heat. This visitor, a comet, has been named by NASA called Neowise. So what makes Neowise comet special? So the comet just inside Mercury's orbit, this passage This very close passage by the sun is cooking the comet outermost layers and causing gas and dust to erupt off the icy surface and creating a large tail of debris. Even the astronauts on the ISS spotted it from their vantage point high above Earth. So this makes the comet special, Neowise. If we talk about the upcoming comets in which will be visible from the naked eyes in upcoming comets in 2022 are this: the comet Churyumov 67P, which will be the approximate month is is April 22, and the second comet is this K2 C20 2021 and C 2017 K2 Pan-STARRS. This image comes from the average of 12. This detail is given below in this picture. So these are the upcoming comets which will be visible to the naked eye from Earth. So this is all about the comets. Hope you find the session informative. Thank you. Over to you, Yugansh. Hello, Yugansh?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, over to you. Hope you find this session informative. Let me know the views and okay, your questions, also.
Thanks a lot, ma'am, for this webinar. And I guess everyone enjoyed this. And thanks a lot for providing valuable time to us. And thanks to all the audience for attending it. And yeah, stay connected for future updates. And I hope you all guys liked it. And please fill up the feedback form. The link will be given in the comment chat box. So please go through it. Okay, so thank you. I request everyone to leave the meeting. I request everyone present in the meeting to leave the meeting.